Welcome, everybody. My name is Harpal Kochar. I am an independent college admissions counselor, and I run a company called Success Coach. And for the last few months, I have been working with, the seniors batch got over around December, and then all my juniors started and 10th graders started, and everybody was hounding me for summer programs and wanting to know the details. And as I was going through the details, every year this becomes a fairly arduous process on me. So this time I actually hired a few friends and consultants and put a whole detailed framework of all the summer programs and rationale behind them. And I'm going to present to you something fresh. This is the first time I'm presenting, so I might be a little rough on the edges. Now the session is being recorded. I will share the recording with you all. You are also welcome to take screenshots as you deem okay. The presentation will be made available. Well, the slides will be made available only to my students, but everybody can see the recording and can have at it from all the details. Okay. With that, let me quickly push these details of how people can contact me in the chat. Okay. Let me send this off to everybody. So as ground rules, I'm okay with you sending questions in the chat or in the Q&A panel. I have both the panels open in front of me, so I can see all the questions coming in. You can also unmute yourself if you want to, if you feel like you need me to look at some specific thing that you are talking about, that's okay too. We'll go from there. Okay. For some reason, I can't see everybody's faces, so that's kind of a bummer. I usually am able to see everybody on the same page. So hide video panel. Let's see if I can see it. Dang, I can't see can't see names. I can't see the pictures of anybody. But anyway, quite a few of you joined already. So. Okay, so this is, we'll basically go over a few things. We'll talk about different summer programs, why to go for summer programs, what can you do in lieu of them, and finally we'll go into actually the list of summer programs that you could consider joining, okay? Now this used to be my personal adventures with the holidays, the summer holidays, playing a lot of cricket, a lot of badminton. I did a lot of travel through middle school, and then high school I got stuck with doing a lot of these coaching classes and stuff to get into a good engineering college, which I made it into very well. But a lot of my learning came from just being on the streets and just being more street smart all along the way. So one of the things I keep telling a lot of students is, try to stay away from, most of my students, I keep telling them to stay away from these organized programs at Brown, Harvard, and stuff. I just think it's a monumenting racket in some cases. There are some good authentic programs, but this industry has become like a $200 billion industry, $200 million, not billion, $200 to $200 million industry, which is just growing leaps and bounds. So I'm starting with something rhetorical just to make a point to everybody. And feel free to, if you disagree with anything I say, that's okay. But clearly summer programs are becoming very, very expensive. And I've put some details of what some programs cost at some of the programs like Brown and Harvard. I've also put some costs of a program which provides you credits at Duke, what that will cost you, close to $10,000. Compare that to if you go to a community college at North Carolina or even in California, anywhere, the pricing is a lot lesser. You can get very similar credits. So I'll just leave it to you to decide. I'm not here to tell you should send your children to programs or not. They are valuable, but sometimes we just go way overboard. And a lot of my students who come to me, even for private consulting, they come in with so many programs that they've done, but I don't see the passion. I don't see the drive in taking it to a certain point. They all think it's a ticket to getting into a college, which is, it could not be further away from that truth. Okay. So here are some options typically students will do when they want to get into summer programs. They either get into pre-collegiate programs, and 80% of them just get into it because of brand value. I tell students that, know your why. Why are you going for a particular program at Columbia versus Harvard? My three reasons are typically built around, they're offering a course which is so rare and so unique that you are so fascinated that you feel like you could learn something good out of it. You're trying to build some expert level skills, like you've already built some basic skills in yourself and you're now looking to build the next level of skills. Or you are looking to get the campus experience. You want to go there. You think you're going to early decision into that school. You really think it's your dream school. You want to check it out, what the dorm life is like. It's a good thing. I would also question, is it worth spending $8,000, $10,000 just to get a feel of your school? You could just spend a day in the hotel next to the school in the neighborhood and learn enough about dorm life and life over there in general that you don't have to spend that kind of money, like $10,000 on these programs. I like the concept of getting a job. That picture is of my daughter, Dia, my younger one. She works at a Jamba Juice. I have seen this child pick up confidence, time management, ability to communicate so much over the time since she's been working at Jamba Juice. She's recently got promoted as well over there. Super confident about herself. Once she got a car, she was, flying, and that's what she does. Works at Jamba. She manages the cashier. She makes the shakes. She also works with the manager, with the other teams involved. So she's a pretty passionate lady, right? Learned the art of diplomacy, right? She'll fight for her rights. The third one is you take an internship job, which in my humble opinion is the most boring one, where you decide to go and work for a company and with a bunch of seniors, and for senior meaning not kids who are around you, and that life can be fairly boring. I think it can almost scar a student to wanting to not do that kind of a job ever in their life. So I tend to keep my students away from internship jobs, kind of things from there. I like researching with college professors, or starting your own gigs of some kind, your own business, your own service, your own club, something like that. So that's how I typically divide the 5 areas in which, pre-collegiate programs or summer programs is 1, getting an actual job outside in the field is 2, internship, research with college professor, or starting your business. Okay. Typically the process you would go through in your mind when you decide to go for what you want to do for a summer, I found this flowchart online explaining a logical progression, how you think about deciding to go for a summer program. So if you want to do something you're doing summer, the decision is between, do you want to make it fairly structured versus something which you want a lot more creativity, your own passion to drive you. If you want something very structured, then the courses at Brown, Harvard, all of those become fairly important. The question, how old does a student have to be to seek a summer job in a restaurant or fast food places? Chetna, you can be as young as, I believe, 14. There's some like mom and pop stores can even take 14-year-olds. 15-year-olds can definitely work at a Chick-fil-A. I'll actually add you guys to one of my classrooms where I think I sent the link already in the start, where if you join the classroom, you can see the particular employers who allow 15-year-olds to work. And there are quite a few of them as well. Okay. So there are more structured programs, and then there are do-it-yourself. So structured are the pre-collegiate, which we just talked about, which I was showing you. Then there are the summer programs, the prestigious ones like MIT SRI, UC Cosmos, or USC has a bunch of programs. Those are prestigious programs. And then there is a long tail of other summer programs that come along. I would actually say the other summer programs are actually a lot better, a lot cheaper, and you get a lot more to learn. And then the programs you do in those prestigious summer programs. And again, the proof is in the pudding. A summer program is only as good as the stories and the experiences you build up over there that you can talk about in your essays, in your extracurricular activities, connect the dots in your application. I think other summer programs can give you a lot more of that opportunity. One of those is actually my own program, which I run during the summer. I run an entrepreneurship class, and I'm happy to tell you guys more about it. But that's typically how you're looking at in programs. Both these are super selective. Like pre-collegiate programs are not very selective, but they're super expensive. The prestigious programs can be very expensive. There are some which are free programs, but those are typically for the minorities and for people from the lower strata of society. But others have a shot at those as well. There are other summer programs which we'll even talk about. But if you don't want to do that and you want to do it yourself, you can either decide between, doing some research with a professor. There are so many institutions right here between Santa Clara University with, Jesus and Mary. You have so many colleges just around here, including San Jose State University, including Stanford. Like everybody wants to call a Stanford professor to do research. There's research that happens outside of Stanford. There are so many professors looking for help. You just have to put your resume and send it out to like 20, 30 professors and say, hey, I've been seeing the work you've been doing. If you have any positions open, anything you want, any help, even filing a desk, getting you coffee, I'll do it. Okay. Make yourself available to the professors. You learn a lot from them. Now, if you don't want to work in research, you can do either an intern at a local business, or you can go intern at a large business, whatever. Right. So if you don't want to intern, you can start your own chapter. You don't even need to start an organization which is in the school. You could just do a meetup. You have some idea in your mind to sell some, like one of my students wants to do a crochet business. And I just sent her some details about a crochet business where she can volunteer and she can bring in her own students and they can start doing some work around that. So you don't need a school-sponsored program or such to do it. You could just throw something on Nextdoor. If it's got value, you can create students to come in over there. You can throw in some prizes so students will stay on for till the end of the course. It's not very hard to hustle your way and actually start an activity, okay? If not, but if you want to do a job, like I said, Jamba Juice and other places are all ready to hire. They're dying for people right now. There are lots of virtual jobs you can do, and I'll show you some ways how you can find some of these jobs. Or if not that, you want to start your own business. And if you're in the last camp of starting your own business, I will give you the program for doing that. That's the program which Success Coach offers on its websites, something which you should absolutely consider doing. The ones I've put in stars, in my humble opinion, are the ones you should consider. Everything like us, according to me, is, unless you get into like a TASP or SMRI, RSI program types, it's okay, right? I mean, but these programs, considering your own chapter, other summer programs, startup ideas, showing your work ethic, are really the kind of programs you should all be thinking about getting into. That's my choice of it. Again, if somebody disagrees, that's fine. We can talk more about it. Now, summer activities do have a very heavy impact on your college application. I've broken this pie chart into the specific areas of these 6 dimensions that a school, like a public school, like a UCLA or a UT Austin would consider, where literally 50 to 55% of your application is based upon your GPA and your AP performance. And the rest of them are mostly SAT because it's really, become optional. So it's gotten a lot lesser of its color now. Essays do still have a fairly big important area. Maybe for public universities, not 15%, should be more like 10% here. But extracurricular activities, all of these do matter. But if you think of how your summer activities play out, and I just threw in an animation so you can see my cool animation skills, is that summer activities do matter, but they don't take over from anything else. It's about a weak link that can break a larger chain. So your application needs to be strong all throughout. And if it's not, some things will stick out like a sore thumb. Okay. For example, even demonstrator interest in the school. If your application is weak on that front, you're pretty much not getting in. Even though demonstrator interest is only 7%, I don't care how good grade you get. But if you're applying to a selective school and if you are not sucking up to them in a very genuine way, in terms of having research on their website, their professors, their courses, their plays, their alumni, if you're not writing a lot of those things in your demonstrator interest, you're not getting in those schools. Okay. So a weak link is not afforded, but at the same time, you need to make sure everything else is also in play. This is quick link about myself, about things that I do for a passion. Just an introduction. I've been doing college admissions counseling for about 4 years now, informally for about 7 years, and started all really from when my daughter was in 9th grade, and being a first-generation parent in the US, having no clue of the system here, I jumped head on, took a class at Stanford, wanted to learn the process. Turned out after 3-4 years of doing, or 3-4 months of learning there, I was still not good at it. In fact, when Shreya graduated, I was still pretty lost with APs and dual enrollments and concurrent enrollments and all the terminologies that went along with EA, ED, and regular decisions and stuff. But over time, I became pretty good at it, and I've learned it all. So I feel like I've built a fairly good moat around the whole calling, which I really enjoy. This is the business we run, which is called Success Coach. And I'll tell you how all this is connected as well to specifically summer programs, which is we really cater to a holistic process around success goals, which means college admissions is just one way, or probably the most important thing you will do as a student to build your long-term success. Okay, the time management, the prioritization, the attention to detail is all something which you will learn through this process. So do not take it as something which you will not use down the line, or don't take it as a drudgery. I mean, if I could go back and turn the clock around, I would want to go back and become a teenager just to go through this process, because it will teach you so much, which I missed out on learning as a kid myself. Okay, the perspective we bring is the immigrant parent perspective, the thrifty thinking, the hustler person, the mindsets, grade specific assignments, which means assignments you get pretty much on a monthly basis. The parents get to know on a monthly basis where the student is, what milestones have been missed, are they ahead or behind the curve, things which logically as an engineer, which is my background, I felt was important. And a lot of people, my other counselors, which I had used, were never giving me those things. The things we provide are the 6 services around building college lists, building your planning for the stretch target safeties. We help you put together passionate essays that are very, very clearly impactful, show the end-to-end conundrum across those 6 areas we talked about. A clearly planned 4-year college plan where you don't ever get lost. You know at any given time what you're supposed to get done, what's remaining. What we're talking today is the demonstrated interest and meaningful work around internships, which we help our students with, merit scholarships to reduce your tuition costs, and of course the brainstorming of your essays, which really forms the fulcrum of what you write ultimately. The other service that I provide, which is very related to what we're talking today, is the actual summer programs. Now, the reason I had to make it into a service was in the past, I would just throw out the list to all my students about saying, okay, here's the list of programs, go figure from this list, come back to me when your essays are done. Turned out they would not even be able to go through the list. So going through the list is literally like doing an entire college application, because you have 3,000 colleges in the US. Same way you have at least close to 300 to 400 good summer programs. Just these are the formal programs available. Then there are informal programs available, like the ones which I provide and everything. It's a very stressful endeavor for the student to know what they're going to apply for, right? So they have this inertia, they get lost in between. So knowing what to look for in a program, having the prioritization criteria, then putting in your application, making sure the application is all I's dotted, all T's crossed, all that stuff while you're still in school, because most applications open up in January, is a very, very daunting task. Your window of opportunity is from 10th of January, which just went by, to around 10th or 15th of February. By that time, all your applications are done, sent in. So it's a very stressful process, and I felt this was an area I could provide a service around. I provide very detailed service for the UC Cosmos, essay reviews, resume spikes, topic selections. I'll talk about that in more details. I also run these 2 programs called the BEC, the workshop, which is the Biz Entrepreneurship Coach, which is really a 5-day workshop to explain people basic entrepreneurship principles. If they like what they see there, I do a partnership with Science Gurus in the summer, which is a 6-week program, more like 10 to 15 hours a week. You're putting in time to put together a business. You're putting together an online game or a digital advertising agency, or heck, you're trying to start any business of yours, like could be a photography business, could be any business, but we help you put it all together, all the nuts and bolts of it. Okay, so you are dealing typically, when you're looking at applying for these schools, everybody asks me, should I apply to the program? So like I have these students who apply to Columbia. There are students who are going to Brown. Think of it, Brown's programs are open, I think, all the way into April. And even, I think for Shreya's time, I remember in May, they were still open. You could just pay the money and get in, right? And she would panic, Shreya would panic that, I need to get into some program. And I thought about the whole thing. And yes, you do want to do something useful, but you have to take a step back. And if you take a step back, what are you trying to do? You're trying to differentiate yourself over your competition. Your competition, so if you're applying to Harvard, your competition is not 55,000 applications that Harvard gets, out of which they select 1,700 people for the cohort. Okay, that's not your competition. Your competition is your schoolmates. Your competition is typically somebody who looks a lot like you, talks a lot like you, and it comes down to literally you are competing with about 200 people to more like 500 people across the country for that one position at Harvard. Now, all you need to do is be better than them. That's where the game is going to come down to. So knowing yourself is one thing, but knowing the others, knowing your opponents, what they are doing, and how you do something different from them, not better, different, okay? Become more versatile. That's what people want to see in highly selective schools, okay? Being better is table stakes. Versatile is another discussion, okay? So that's when I show this, the story of a bear coming in and these two people running away from the bear. One person stops to put on his new shoes, and the other one goes, "Idiot, keep running. We have a bear coming." And he said, "No, that's okay. Bear is still far away. All I need to do is outrun you. That's it. And the bear, I'll survive." So remember that, because that's important for you to know how you will differentiate over others. And I've put a stereotypical profile here of what a typical dude looks like or dudette looks like. How are we going to differentiate? That's something which we can talk more about. I'm open to questions, guys. If anybody has questions, just throw it in the Q&A panel, yeah? We're doing good with time. So, okay, so now we're going to talk about summer activities which you can do. So one of the big goals I have is to show you so many things that you don't walk away with just the summer programs list. You also walk away with absolutely, things which you can do specifically, like summer activities can be done. So with that, let me show you something before we go out. So the workshops that I do, which Success Coach does, are right here. So we do the Beck workshop, which is the Entrepreneurship Workshop, and I've put in some details over here. It's all on my website. You can see all the details, what we do. It's 3 to 4, this is the agenda from when I did this last time earlier in December. I had about 8 students attend this class, and worked out really well. 5-day program. I did it actually in 3 days for these students. There's a whole video giving all the details, how the class was conducted. We also do another class during the summer, which is called the Csi Program, which is the Science Gurus program for ideation, for building a software online. Completely, the entire process of building a digital program is, or building your entire startup. We actually have provided that, and you can see an entire short video. It's a YouTube video about 20 minutes explaining what this program is. You can get some more details about that. Other things which we provide are, like I said, the work for UC Cosmos. How do you do the essays for Cosmos? How do you get the details of how do you start writing the essays? How do you plan the specific cohorts to choose the cluster choice factors? We talk about that as well. And then finally, the summer programs. This is what we'll be talking much more about, which is the service that we offer is the essay strategy, service spikes, program selection by major. But you can also see the list of all the competitive programs. I've listed them all on my website. You can see them, and it's all in the links that I've already provided to you. LaunchX is actually very similar. This entrepreneurship program is very similar to what I provide. These are all the programs available, the popular programs. This is literally my slide deck, which I'm presenting today to you. And some of the links are here in the details over here, all the programs that we provide, details, free summer programs. So those are the programs on my website. Now let's go into high school. Let's do internships. Okay. Now, I'm talking internships again. My bigger goal is that you land up taking internships and summer programs, and those elite programs that you spend thousands of dollars should be, in some ways, be last available choice. But for example, if you look at, and by the way, all these links are available in that slide which I was showing you earlier on my website. Okay, but on this page you can see co-ops, internships, and summer research opportunities for high school students. Okay, huge list. Okay, for example, You can see things like, let's say, cancer research, okay, details, application, cancer research. A lot of these are mostly medical related stuff, but there should be more as well. School of Science, mostly science related. It's research around your biology and medicine, but it's pretty cool stuff. You can see exactly Tree for Tomorrow is not that. There's many more, like there's some of them have requirement that you need to be a resident of Arizona. So maybe if you're an Arizona person, that's fine. This is a global program today, so lots of people are logging in from everywhere else. Some are paid, some are not paid. So it's actually really worth looking at, okay? Gives you a lot of good perspectives, and very quickly you can get this list and start working it through. Same way, this internship here called firsthand.co, it provides you, this is the one where you have a lot more training, mentoring. I've actually tried to break it down already in some specific areas for you to look at. So Firsthand is providing careers, library gone. So one of my students wants to become a cybersecurity analyst, okay? Learning what cybersecurity analysts do, getting some kind of internship over there. Those are things you can get through these websites, okay? Not only it helps you put together resumes and cover letters, but this is dedicated for school students to plan how do you get a mentor to help you advance your career, things which you should know to plan for, because this will become lifelong skills. Hence the name of my company, Success Coach. We're not imparting just skills for college applications, but for a longer period of time, okay? Firsthand is about, think of this thing, right? Which is you can sign up over here and you can find mentors who can help you put together resumes, mock interview, firsthand knowledge of roles and industries. Could you yourself not become, well, again, I've not tested this out, okay? But once, if you're a 9th grader or 10th grader and you go through some such program, you could sign up to a mentor, be a mentor yourself, okay, to some more people. That could become a very important qualification for yourself to be able to talk about in the future. So, and again, you don't have to be on Firsthand's website, but you could become one. You could just go on Nextdoor and say, hey, I did this internship last year. Happy to mentor any of the younger students who need my help. And before you know, you have your own web page, your own website, and you're mentoring people. Now you're being seen as a leader. That's better than doing a Columbia program or going to Stern and spending $10,000. Same way, this, I think I just went through this one for the return. This is with the government. Did you know there is actually an internship program for the government of the US? US government, federal government actually has this program on opm.gov, which is especially designed for students in accredited high schools. Of course, it's for colleges as well, but you can, as an accredited student, you can actually sign up for positions, intern, part-time, full-time positions with the government, US government. There's website is US Jobs. Again, I'll put all these links available to you. Most of them are on my website. If they're not, you can always shoot me a note. But all this is available to you today. You can actually go over here and you can actually sign up. It's called Internship Program. It's specifically for summer, for our high school students. This website, Snag Job, you can actually do a search by teens looking for specific jobs. I look for these jobs. Like if you want to work at a Jamba Juice, I could do an easy apply from here where DR works. I could just do an application and they could see if they want to bring me in. Chick-fil-A, that's one of Chetna, you asked me this question. I think these guys take less than 16 years old. You could apply online from here. There's so many positions. You learn so much by going to these positions and, getting good at these things. Popeyes, Round Table Pizza. You could work at Uber. I don't know allows. I think Uber is at 18, so that's not the best one. But that's the positions here. You can get summer jobs abroad as a teen. You could get summer overseas jobs. Okay. I actually called out some positions over here: gap year, work abroad, student life abroad from exchange programs. You could teach English in summer camps in Italy, Austria, and Germany. So many programs are available that you can just teach virtually. You don't have to even go over there. So that's the whole idea, that you can now become really empowered to do a lot of these. Like if you know Mandarin to some extent, You could do summer internship in China. You could do it remotely. You could do it from here. Chinese students are waiting. They're desperate for students who can give them good English skills. And if you can offer something for free or for some very little price, they'll kiss you on both your cheeks. Okay. The next one is Teens for Hire. I found some good jobs even over here. So for, the career for US teens, it's again a community-based thing, looking for jobs. You register yourself, and then there are employers who will come up to you and will reach out to you. So this is pretty cool stuff. It's pretty popular. You can see a lot of people have covered this website, and look it up. You can see some positions available here. It's good stuff. This one actually was this one took the cake for me. This is if you want to go and work in the parks, in Yosemite Park and other places, you can start working as a resource field specialist or somebody who's giving tours. You can do a lot of that stuff for the parks through this website. This is just one position, but I could actually find a position. So I could actually look within the state national parks, and I could find the Yosemite National Park here because I'm in California. So I could look for Yosemite National Park jobs, and I can see all these jobs available within the Yosemite National Park. Some might not be available for my age, but it's all available right here. You can apply for these positions from here. Depends what your passion is. What do you want to do, right? That's the best part of summer. Don't get suckered into saying, oh my God, I have to do something. There's so much. Take this as an opportunity to learn and to build yourself around that. Back to my, where is my Google Slides gone? Here. Okay. So we talked about the summer activities you can consider doing. Let's start. We talked about summer internships as well, which I just showed you those. So we went through this. So we did not go through all okay, there's some good activities right here. My apologies. I missed out on showing you something important. Right here. Okay. This is another very interesting website called teenlife.com. On teenlife.com, I actually had some requests from people asking me what age groups can be doing these jobs. You can see you can actually look for age groups up to 12, 13, 14. They can also do certain jobs. You can also see the category of the kind of jobs you might want to do over here. It's a very good portal explaining in very good detail, subcategories, the kind of things you're interested in. Almost look at this workshop and everything I'm giving to you as a way to literally see what your calling is. You might not take on the class to make it a part of what you are, but just see it for what it's worth. That in itself could help you make some good decisions about your career. Okay. Minimum cost. This becomes an important factor to a lot of people. I'm looking for only 6 programs which are free or which are under $500. Or this might be my sweet spot. I don't want to go into 3,000 and above. And look at this, the number of programs, 740 programs, which are so expensive, but I have cheaper programs as well, which are within cost. Okay. So it's a good filter, gives you very good amount of information. You can work through that. I found this National Student Leadership Conference, which actually provides programs in, if you look at their, actually found this very good cybersecurity program here on their website. But I also found something interesting, which was if I went to their home site, you can see where all they do their courses. Where is that gone? Locations. Not this location, I needed the, okay, if I go back here, program locations here. So you can see this program run by National Student Leader Conference is run pretty much in all the universities. Okay, so you can choose your university. The UCs will make it a little cheaper. Though of course, Harvard and all will make it much more expensive. Yale will also be a lot more expensive. But that's how I would kind of start looking down at some of the programs, specifically from the National Student Leadership Conference. Then look at the courses on Coursera. In fact, on Coursera, you can actually look at courses which are specifically for high school students. If you could do this course on Coursera, you say, I'm not gonna focus on anything else but this course by Princeton University, Algorithms Part 1. If you could take on this course, and if you maybe go to Wyzant's website and have find a student instructor, pay him $25 an hour, have him teach you the algorithm, help you through the algorithms part 1 program. Okay. The class might cost you, say, $300 in 2 months. Paying this dude or dudette, $25-30 an hour for, like, say, 15 or 20 sessions, that's another $300. That's total of $500 you spent, and you could finish the algorithms part 1 class from Princeton University with a fantastic grade. Okay. Not only that, because you're relaxed, because you're understanding it very well, you could sign up for the very next class in the same summer. Okay, talking to the professor and come in as a student TA. Now see how your application becomes a lot more versatile for a school to look at. Saying, not only did this dude do the course in the same summer, he was a student and became a TA. Okay, I will want to hire that one in my program. Okay, and it's not too hard. It's all jugaad. It's all a way of playing the system and figuring out what you want to do. Then I have in edX. edX has similar. edX actually has some very interesting programs, like things like chemistry of life, or where was this one? There was one how to Shakespeare's life and work. If you could just do these kind of courses, okay, think how bright your brand becomes. These courses you can do sitting at home, okay, but how much more versatile you show in your personalities. Think of how beautiful an essay will come out if you can talk about Shakespeare. If you've taken lit in school, English lit, okay, or even if you've done some other English or just higher English honors. This is the kind of stuff you want to build up. That's when schools like Amherst and Wellesley and all will start noticing you. Then I found another one, which is a volunteer match. And on volunteer match, I can actually put my filter by virtual only programs, and I can filter them by teens. Okay, great for teens, this program. And look at all the programs I'm getting. Volunteer tutors needed. This is the crochet class. One of my students, she wanted to start her own crochet business. And I actually, just the moment I came across this class while looking at, putting this whole program together today, I sent her this detail. I'm like, dude, you don't need to start your own class. There is a place you can actually, there's a charity. She's amazing at crochet, but she didn't want to go through the hassle of putting it all together, the whole thing. But I was like, okay, so this is great. You can teach this class for this community, make it a virtual program, and you're good to go. They will give you all the material. You just need to be having talent for crochet, which she had, right? If you have good knowledge of Spanish, think of this. This is a virtual opportunity. Now you can become a virtual Spanish tutor very quickly. Okay. Then this last one was Teen Life. We already talked about Teen Life. Did we talk Teen Life? Yeah, we did. Okay. Am I connecting with what you guys are looking for, or because it's a very quiet crowd right now, and I'm not used to that. Feel free to throw in some things at me, guys. I mean, I build my energy from people asking, not by just speaking. I mean, you can throw in questions in the Q&A, you can ask questions, you can just unmute yourself and ask questions. I'm cool with that too. Like, there are like 20 of you over here. So, okay, Jaya, okay. So, hey, Jaya, okay. Very helpful, thank you, okay. But yeah, this is good. So now let's get to what maybe some of you were looking for, which was the summer program details, the good, the bad, the ugly, okay? Thanks, Purvi. Yeah, okay. But yeah, no, keep asking questions, guys. Just don't say it's informative, helpful. Just, I'm sure there are questions coming to your mind, and ask those questions. That's what I need to know if I'm on the right track, okay? I like these programs. These are programs besides Loyola Marymount, which is still a good place. I like Loyola because they were giving a non-credit program in entertainment and sports business, which to me is a very, very important niche business market to learn about. But these, you can't go wrong with any the UC's programs. The USC program also was not very expensive. They're 2-week, 4-week programs. I don't like these credit-bearing programs because they really charge you a lot of money for the credits. Credits are okay. If you want credits, go to a community college. So much better to do it there. But UCLA, USC, Stanford had very nice programs. Let me actually show you some of the programs which I found on their websites. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this was on Stanford's website. Stanford Pre-Collegiate Summer Institute. You can see by grades. You can actually have an 8th grader, 9th grader. There are actual programs, like if I just click on this, you'll actually see programs for 8th graders. that are available, which is really, really nice. Okay. So Stanford provides a lot of good programs for students. Again, you just sign up here and just, apply for the program. Scholarships. I felt this scholarship from UC San Diego. I called out specifically this scholarship because I felt this was very unique. The way, there are two choices of the following courses. It's something which I found their motive very good. It's a partnership with dedicated support, foundational belief that people have no higher calling than to strive for greater good of mankind and society by finding a balance between scientific development and enrichment of the human spirit. So right there, I was like, besides every other program, cybersecurity and film, yada, 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 biotech, I just found their approach or their vision very good. So, take a look at this program. UCLA had some very good programs online. They had summer courses and then they had summer intensive courses. I would highly recommend not to do any of the summer intensive courses. They'll burn you out. Okay. But keep this list, look at their online programs and summer courses. The question that came in, which summer program would you recommend to use as activity instead of a credit? So activity instead of credit. So my point was that if you go for a credit oriented course, because you're taking a credit at college, you're not really like the cost difference I showed you guys, right? The Brown program, they charge you $2,000-3,000 just per credit. And the cost of that credit in the same college will be like $4,000 or $5,000. So yeah, you are getting a discount, but you don't even know if you're going to use that credit at any point in time. You're better off if you want credits, if you're doing these things for credit specifically. The only reason you want to do for credit is not for the credibility, but to actually exchange that for something in the school. Then you're better off taking a program at Ohlone College or one of the community colleges or the AP credits, concurrent or dual enrollment, not concurrent. You can do that. That's a better option, but that's how I would suggest the answer. I hope I answered your question, Jaya. Okay. Next question, what's a better option? Accelerating maths at school versus joining a summer program? I like accelerating math in general, simply because math has such a big role, Chetna, that in the school, that if you can make it to Calc BC by finish of 11th and you're hitting like multivariates in 12th, that is where the rubber meets the road. Okay, if you can do that, I think that's a way better option, because math is you can't debate math. Math is math. And if you're good at math, you suddenly get leverage for almost every other thing in life, which is just how life is. Next question is, I'm a high schooler, but Roshan says, I'm a high schooler, but do not know which side to pursue. Which one interest was. I'm a high school, do not know which side to pursue. So how should I find my interest in a specific subject? Roshan, this is where you need to contact a counselor, have a counselor you're working with, or a mentor who helps you actually look through a lot of these details. But at the same time, because you don't know, is exactly why you want to look through all the programs and find programs which you find appealing to you. So literally use this as trying to find out where you would want to do, what kind of courses would you want to do in the future. If they sound overwhelming, come to me, ask me, I can help you with that as well. Okay, you're lost with this thing. It is overwhelming for everybody. Okay, it's not just you. That's just how it is. So done with that. Russian answer. Neil is asking, does taking a summer program in school help with the school application? It's a cliche. It never does. In fact, if you look at Neil, if you look at the programs, even on Columbia's website, guess who runs those programs? Okay, there's a company called Envision. They write the curriculum. They make some professors come and teach the classes, but there is no linkage between the two. Yes, sometimes there can be a linkage that if a professor or the faculty of the school is teaching in that class there, and you're able to get a stellar recommendation, like stellar means like kick-ass stellar, saying this dude worked his tail off with me, I can see him and I want him in my class, then it's worth it. Okay. Otherwise, it's just too much spending you're going to be doing on those things. Okay. T. Ola, which is better, AP class courses or AP classes or courses from Ohlone College? I'm more of a, yeah, T, I'm more of a believer of doing courses and doing like AP, just giving the exams. But again, you can't go wrong in either of them. In both cases, as long as there are credits, you can transfer from them one to the other. To the colleges, if there are UC credit available, take it. It's worth it. It's just too much of a gimmick and hype about this whole AP credit bullshit. If you take class at Ohlone and they have UC credits, you're good to go. Okay. Ocean said, thank you. Okay, I've answered all the questions. Okay, so this was Stanford. I talked about UCLA, the programs. We showed you UC Berkeley has some good programs. This website, Berkeley website, was very, very crummy. I didn't like it, but at the same time, UC programs are much cheaper. So you want to try to, like UC Santa Barbara has a research program. You want to look at those programs because they are cheaper and they are much more credible than all the other programs. Remember this thing, if it's as easy as submitting an application and getting into a program, your program's worth is literally nada, okay? You need to see how long that program has been in existence, like maybe for the last 10 years. So make a phone call to them and say, how many students did you accept last year? How many applied? They have to give you those answers. And I can guarantee you that most of these programs, these rubbish programs, $5,000 programs, they barely get like maybe 150% or 200% enrollment, okay? Which means they take 1 hour or 2, okay? So which is nothing great. And guidance counselors and the admissions counselors know all that, how the game is played. All you're telling them is, I have money, my parents have money to pay, that's it. And which in some ways is not considered a very, elitism doesn't take us so far. The less elite things you talk about in your application, the better you're always going to be, okay? Okay, so we've talked about this. I like this course at USC, University of Southern California. These are not very expensive courses. And I also like this one, like storytelling in the digital age, okay? Do not take things like journalism and stuff lightly, because you could be a student who's killing it in Calc BC. You could be killing it in STEM and biology. But doing this one course and talking about storytelling or taking a master class, on the website and writing something about that, how that impacted you to make a change, okay, can make a big difference in your application. Okay, so look at some of these things. Like this one, I really like comedy performance. Right now in Fremont, there's a stand-up comedy class which started on Jan 11th. And I told one of my students to go and join that class because I just felt she was amazing and I felt like she could really do stand-up. And I think she joined the class. So I'll talk to her in a few days. But those are the kind of courses you can do. They're not very expensive, like $500, $1,000 you spend on those courses, and they'll, you get an opportunity to go in front of a stage, you get over stage fright. Oh my God. I mean, I hope you see the energy, I feel about something like this, because these are not boring things, right? And if it's not boring, it's good. Okay, back to my slides. So competitive programs in the US, the ones I've highlighted are the ones, and feel free to screenshot these, okay? The ones I highlighted were the ones I really liked. I loved LaunchX because that was entrepreneurship. That's the area I really enjoyed. This high school honors program at Michigan State was actually very nice. They're all very good programs. These just for some reason stood out to me as some places I wanted to check out, like this US Coast Guard. They were teaching stuff about marine biology at a whole different level altogether. The MIT RSI is, of course, it's a known creme de la creme program. Princeton had this good summer journalism. Princeton is very good in their liberal arts side of the program, both Princeton and Yale. So look at those programs. BU had some very good program. Bank of America Student Leaders, this always comes out as the first one. Like whenever the names are taken of programs, this one, for whatever reason, maybe starts with a B, but it's something which always comes on top of everything. Okay, Boston University programs are good. There are some other programs on Tufts and stuff, which I'll talk about a little later. But this is the programs I could find initially for you guys. What did I do? Okay, so these are some of the free programs or very cheap programs. Notice I've actually called out Cosmos in that list as well. Cosmos, for what it gives you, these are value programs. Cosmos, I think, is $3,500, but that is like hardcore value, which is also one of the reasons I coach students how to get into Cosmos, and they've gotten it in the past. So that's been pretty good feeling for me. Like Telluride is a great program to understand Black history, political science, understanding. Madame Curie's Cornell Universities for Girls, really good program to understand girl power. This one, the BOSS program at Penn State, is supposed to be one of the very, very good program for, entrepreneurship and understanding, just business in general. UPenn has another very good program. MIT RSI is, like I said, very good. MIT also has one for Introduction to Engineering and Science, but that's for minorities. Now, minorities could be students, could be girls, could be, LGBT, you could be any of those. And, you don't have to be just affluent wise, not there. So it's something which you should absolutely look at. Math Camp is actually a very, very good program. I found that unique. Pomona Academy, because Pomona is a liberal arts school, try to take classes at these liberal arts schools. Okay, if you see a college, the name says college, not a university, I really think you should think about those programs, because colleges have a whole different finesse to how they teach. So because they're liberal arts based, they believe in small classroom sizes, very personal relationships. My daughter went to a liberal arts school called Wellesley. So I'm very passionate about, universities, to colleges versus universities. Colleges and your programs, which are like, the honors programs at universities, both. Same business and entrepreneurship, I've called out a few programs. Bentley Wall Street 101 looked really nice to me, where there was stimulation of, finance and really finance concepts on risk management. So even if you're just a data science guru, this is a good step to take if you are into it, some of the stuff. Stevens Institute actually impressed me a lot with some of their pre-collegiate programs. LaunchX is also over here. Georgetown might be good if you're looking at going into law school. It's a good program. It's a good thing to learn from these guys, but they're going to be super expensive. Compared to that, your Purdue courses will be a little cheaper. Some of the online courses, like for example, take Cornell's online course, will be a lot cheaper. Who cares? Who knows if you do it online or in person? Okay, take on programs that you can do more with less effort, less stress. Same thing for entrepreneurship. Berkeley has this good program for the youth. Clark's Scholars Program for Texas Tech is actually a very good program. UCLA program we already talked about. These two programs at WashU in St. Louis. Look at this literally as a way to figure out, like, these are some of the awesomest universities. Okay, they don't advertise as heavily, but like WashU in St. Louis is like in the top 10, 20 in the country. Okay, you don't hear as much about it because they don't spend as much money on marketing. Okay, but these are like damn good universities. So give these programs a shot. If you get into these programs, those are very, very quality programs, and they won't be as expensive, I reckon. Computer science, I was like, people over here everybody is a boss at computer science. So I didn't go into each of them. I got tired. I didn't have so much time to put it together, but each of these links works. So go to these websites, check it out. Tufts has a good program for this thing. CS, you can't go wrong, honestly, within the US. The programs are just so good in general. Law and political science, again, Georgetown programs are good. Cornell was very good. Columbia had a good program. One of my students went to Columbia last year doing this program. She loved it. BU's programs are good for this, for law as well. UCLA, I haven't heard as much about. Tufts programs, I've heard of all of them mostly for pre-med. They've done a good job over there. The Smith College's pre-college programs are very good. It's like, again, number 2 liberal arts school in the country. Very good programs there. Notre Dame, you should look at Notre Dame programs because, again, the school it's super loaded and they have an online program. It's worth looking at their summer scholars. Like any of these things just say summer scholars are usually fairly elite programs. You should know more about them. Okay. Visual and performing arts, honestly, I don't know as much about visual and performing arts. I just started finding programs and I put a list together from them. But typically your programs in Rhode Island and, like this one, RISD pre-college program would typically be a very good one for liberal arts. San Francisco Art University is, again, a very, very institute, is a very known institute so you might want to look at that program as well. Pre-med, again, I found good program from Tufts. UWash had a good program for pre-med. Oregon State University. Now, again, not too many people talk about Oregon State University because they're like, oh, it's a state university. It's a damn good state university, guys. It's a VET program, something worth learning about. It's, in general, Oregon State University should be looked upon a lot by many of you students. It just doesn't get as much energy and as much attention as it should. Research, Boston Rise is a very good program. MIT RSI is very good. Santa Barbara has a very good mentorship program in research. Look at that. The Smith College. This was another good program for research I found here. STEM 2. So actually, let me go slow in case somebody wants to take pictures. So there are STEM programs here, which are around Columbia and MIT Women's Institutes. Let me show you another good one, which is journalism. There's some good programs here. Yeah, these for chemistry and biology, I found these unique programs. This was good stuff. John Hopkins had a good one for computational biology. UPenn had a good program for that. So look at this list for research and for chemistry. This was for neuroscience. Got some good programs for neuroscience. And a lot of people tend to be asking me about astronomy. So these are some programs for astronomy. 5 programs which I found, which are good programs, all of them. So, and this is gender focused engineering. So engineering tends to get a lot of focus nowadays. Consider a career over there. And if you are thinking about that, this is a great way to start thinking of the career. Take some of these online classes, start learning engineering. John Hopkins has a good program on that area. You can see UCLA has a very good program. These are good programs to learn about. These are self-learning online courses, which you can just go up online and look at these courses, much cheaper. A lot of value for you can see the courses are by pretty much all the best of the best online courses. So consider doing that. I'm coming to the end of my session now. I have just 1 minute left. So I'm going to be doing the same seminar tomorrow and day after. And so tomorrow, same time. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, same time. Please help me spread the word. Thank you, Alim. I'm glad you liked it. I will be sharing the slides for people who will be getting on calls with me when we set up sessions. Absolutely a part of that. I will be giving out some of the slides. Again, this is a lot of work I've put in to put it together. I'm happy to help anybody one-on-one. I just don't want my slides leaking out and going, it's unique. This is something which I didn't find with any of the counselors, and I want to, hold it close to my heart, this work that I put in here. Okay. Thanks, Chetna. Glad you liked it. Okay. But just stay in touch with me, guys. My website is this. Book your free 30-minute session with me. Let me put this again. I'll put these details again in the chat so you can join my programs. Okay. I just put everything once again in the program guide. But I'm open to questions, guys. I can see thank you points, but if anybody has questions, I'm glad, Neil, you liked it as well. But but ask me questions if you have anything right now. I'm here. I can wait. If you guys want to hang on, anybody wants to hang on, I'm here for you guys. Sweta, go ahead. Will I need to do something to make you talk, or let me check. Sweta, where is she? Allowed to talk. Okay. I'm letting you talk. Did I let you talk? Yeah. So let me open everybody up to talk now. How to talk. I'm opening up, guys, the channel. Anybody wants to ask questions? You can ask me questions. I'm going one at a time, I guess. What am I doing? Allowed to talk. Okay, yeah, allowed to talk. Okay, so you guys are all unmute. And you can ask questions. And if not, then...
Hey, Harpal, this is Chetna. I had a quick question. Good, doing good. Had a question on the... let me turn on my... I don't think it lets me. the video, but never mind. So in order to book the Calendly thing, you'll be able to send us the Calendly link as well. Okay, yeah.
Oh, I put it in. I put it in right
Okay,
here. So
perfect.
just just put it from there. It says book your free time, and it's got the link in there. Just click the link and you'll be in.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions? This is useful. Thank you. Excellent webinar. Okay, Chetna asked a question. Do you have a package? Yes, I do. So please, let's take some time together. It's actually on my website, Chetna, all the information. But absolutely, I will be happy to meet with you and talk to you more about that. Okay. Purvi asked, will you be doing the Beck workshop this summer? Absolutely. I'll be actually doing Purvi a couple of times the Beck workshop. So, just put some time on my calendar. I'm thinking of putting one up in February, March, and then one. So in the spring holidays, I'll do one session, and I'll do obviously one in summer before the large summer internship, because I like to make the Beck available to even students who don't want to do entrepreneurship, but want to just do some side gigs of their own. So I make it available to them too. So, but yeah, absolutely, stay in touch with me for that. The best is just put some time on my calendar, and we can talk about it. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Okay. Well, I guess if there are no more questions, thank you so much for coming on board, and I will send you guys a recording of this session as well. So, please stay in touch and don't hesitate. I'm here for you guys.